When I first was elected vice president with President Obama, the military sat us down to let us know what the greatest threats facing America were, the greatest physical threats. This is not a joke. You know what the Joint Chiefs told us the greatest threat facing America was? Global warming.
Climate change is a threat, but the president is looking at it at a much broader angle than I am. I'm looking at it from a strictly military standpoint. And from a strictly military standpoint, I'm putting China and Russia up there.
Well, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley, feeling the need perhaps to qualify or clarify the president's statement on Wednesday. As you heard, he delivered in England. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs went on to say the #1 military threat as we go forward is China, but he considers Russia a major competitor. This as, obviously, the president continues his European trip. Let's bring in our panel. Ben Domenech, publisher of The Federalist, Katie Pavlich, news editor at townhall.com, and Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee congressman, CEO of Empowerment Inclusion Capital. Ben, your thoughts about that?
Well, obviously, I dispute President Biden's notion regarding climate change, but I'm very curious to see a number of things emerging from this G7 summit, including, of course, this meeting with Vladimir Putin, which unfortunately I think is set up to be really a coup for Putin in so many different respects. He's already got the Nord Stream pipeline. He's not going to have anything change in Belarus. Ukraine is going to continue in terms of a simmer. You're going to continue to have Russian actors, whether government-backed or not, extract ransomware from companies around the world. And I think that you really are going to see, a continued crackdown on any kind of domestic pushback against Putin's regime, especially from Alexei Navalny. This is really going to be a situation where, after all of this talk of the Trump administration being soft on Russia, the outcome when it comes to the Biden administration is almost certainly going to be, some angry language or some very stern talking to from the president. I don't really expect anything to come out of it that's going to encourage any of us who believe that America ought to be pushing back stronger against Russian influence.
We've talked a lot about China and Russia, a little bit about Iran and the threats Iran poses. That came up in this hearing today on Capitol Hill as well. Iran now docking and doing business with Venezuela. Take a listen.
Allowing this ship to dock seems significant to me on many different levels. It would be the first time that Iranian vessels have made such a transit, and the precedent of allowing Iran to provide weapons to the region causes me grave concern.
I am absolutely concerned about the proliferation of weapons, any type of weapons in our neighborhood.
Defense Secretary there, Katie.
Well, this move by the Iranians to get even closer to the United States and to build their alliance with Venezuela and use Venezuela as a transfer point for weapons into South America certainly isn't a gesture of goodwill while the Biden administration is still negotiating and trying to get down to the wire on some kind of agreement to get back into the Iranian nuclear deal. The Obama administration always made the argument that if we got back into the deal that Iran would improve their behavior on a number of different fronts. We saw that didn't happen. In fact, Iran got more aggressive once they were in the nuclear agreement. We're now seeing that the more the Biden administration negotiates that with them, the more aggressive they've become, whether that's sending ships to Venezuela for a weapons transfer or whether that's funding Hamas to wage a war against Israel through Hamas, whether it's funding other proxies in the region like the Houthis against Saudi Arabia. And so this concept of offering the Iranians a nuclear agreement and hoping that in return they will somehow change their behavior. We've seen the opposite of that happen, and it's happening as we speak while they're trying to negotiate some kind of agreement. Harold,
critics of the president have said that Iran, China, Russia see softness, so they are acting in various different ways to challenge that. At the same time, on this trip, the president has had a success in the world's eyes, at least. This vaccination effort and 500 million vaccines that was matched just before this show started of another 500 million from the G7. Take a listen to the president.
America will be the arsenal of vaccines in our fight against COVID-19. Just as America was the arsenal of democracy during World War II, our vaccine donations don't include pressure for favors or potential concessions. We're doing this to save lives, to end this pandemic. That's it, period. We have the lowest number of daily deaths since the first day of this pandemic. Our economy is rebounding. Our vaccination program has already saved tens of thousands of lives.
Obviously, the White House is touting that as a global effort led by the U.S. Harold.
Look, that's an example of, thanks for having me on, it was an example of our soft power. This president was in a direct attack also, I think, at China, a direct line of attack at China. As he said, we're not looking for concessions or favors from those nations that we seek to help. You know, I have a little different opinion. I found some of the analysis interesting with some of the other panelists, but my perspective is slightly different. I think this effort to strengthen our multilateral approach, or should say strengthen relationships with allies, build even stronger ones with countries we're seeking to have a better relationship with as we enter the mid-innings of this Cold War with China, I think is a very smart thing. The world is a messy place. It's a dangerous place. It always has been. I'm relieved a bit by the experience this president brings, and I hope that he and Secretary Blinken and Secretary Austin won't be afraid to pull and use every lever. And you have to be encouraged to hear and watch them use the soft power lever as much as they are. Without question, the dominant organizing theme for our foreign policy over the next 5, 10, 15 years, my kids' years in middle school and high school and college will be how we compete and beat China. That's what I heard from our military leaders today in Congress, and that's what I continue to hear from President Biden and his team as well.
We should point out that there was also an attack in Baghdad on a State Department compound at the airport just last night with a drone, and they're looking for the culprits there. So it's a dangerous world, to your point.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.